Do you ever feel drained after spending time with certain people? Have you noticed that some interactions leave you feeling tired, frustrated, or even anxious? If so, you might be dealing with energy vampires in your life. In this video, we'll explore the 12 signs of an energy vampire and how to protect yourself from their draining influence. Let's start by understanding what energy vampires are. These are individuals who, often unintentionally, drain the emotional and mental energy of those around them. They can leave you feeling exhausted and depleted after interactions. Recognizing these signs is the first step in protecting your well-being and creating healthier relationships. The first sign to watch out for is constant complaining. Energy vampires tend to focus heavily on the negative aspects of life. They seem to have an endless list of problems and grievances. Whether it's about work, relationships, or life in general, they always find something to criticize or bemoan. This constant stream of negativity can be incredibly draining for those around them. It's not just about having a bad day or needing to vent occasionally. Everyone experiences that. Instead, it's a persistent pattern of seeing the world through a negative lens. This negativity often goes hand in hand with an inability or unwillingness to seek solutions. When you suggest ways to address their concerns, they might dismiss your ideas or find reasons why they won't work. This can leave you feeling helpless and frustrated. Over time, being around someone who constantly complains without taking action to improve their situation can wear down your own optimism and energy. The second sign is attention-seeking behavior. Energy vampires often have an insatiable need to be the center of attention. They might dominate conversations, steer discussions back to themselves, or create drama to ensure all eyes are on them. This behavior can manifest in various ways. For instance, they might interrupt others frequently, share overly personal information in inappropriate settings, or make grand gestures to draw attention. Their reactions to everyday situations often seem disproportionate or exaggerated. A minor inconvenience might be treated as a major catastrophe, complete with emotional outbursts or lengthy tirades. This constant drama can be exhausting for those around them, as it requires a great deal of emotional energy to respond to and manage these situations. The third sign is a lack of boundaries. Energy vampires often struggle with respecting personal space and privacy. They might overshare about their own lives and expect the same level of disclosure from others, even if it makes them uncomfortable. This disregard for boundaries can manifest in physical ways, such as standing too close or touching without permission, or in emotional ways, such as prying into personal matters or sharing confidential information. They might also have difficulty understanding or accepting when others need space or time alone. They may become upset or offended if you don't respond to their messages immediately or if you decline an invitation. This constant pressure to be available and engaged can be incredibly draining, leaving you feeling like you have no time or energy for yourself. The fourth sign is guilt tripping. Energy vampires often use emotional manipulation to get what they want. They might make you feel bad for not meeting their demands or expectations, even if those expectations are unreasonable. This can take many forms, from subtle comments that make you question your actions to more overt accusations of being selfish or uncaring. Guilt tripping is a powerful tool because it plays on our natural desire to be good people and to maintain harmonious relationships. An energy vampire might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would do this," or "I guess I'm just not important to you." These statements are designed to make you feel guilty and compelled to comply with their wishes, even if doing so goes against your own needs or desires. The fifth sign is being a negativity spreader. Similar to constant complaining, energy vampires often have a knack for for seeing the worst in every situation. However, this goes beyond just expressing their own negative views. They actively work to bring down the mood of those around them. They might point out potential problems in your plans, criticize your ideas, or generally cast a shadow over positive experiences. This constant negativity can be particularly draining because it challenges your own ability to maintain a positive outlook. You might find yourself starting to doubt your own judgment or feeling less excited about things you once enjoyed. Over time, this can lead to a general sense of pessimism or hopelessness, which can significantly impact your overall well-being. The sixth sign is excessive neediness. Energy vampires often require constant support and validation from others. They might frequently seek reassurance about their appearance, their decisions, or their worth as a person. While it's normal to need support from time to time, energy vampires seem unable to function independently for long periods. This neediness can manifest in various ways. They might call or message you frequently, always needing to talk about their problems. They might rely on you to make decisions for them or to solve their problems. They might also become anxious or upset if you're not immediately available to provide emotional support. This constant demand for attention and care can be exhausting, leaving you feeling like you're responsible for managing their emotions and well-being. The seventh sign is one-sided conversations. When interacting with an energy vampire, you might notice that discussions tend to revolve around them and their interests. They dominate conversations, talking at length about their own experiences, opinions, and problems. When others try to contribute, they might quickly steer the conversation back to themselves or show little genuine interest in what others have to say. This one-sidedness can be frustrating and draining. You might feel unheard or undervalued in these interactions. Over time, you might start to feel like the relationship is imbalanced, with you providing a listening ear and support without receiving the same in return. This lack of reciprocity can leave you feeling emotionally depleted. The eighth sign is passive-aggressive behavior. Energy vampires often express their hostility or displeasure indirectly. Instead of addressing issues directly, they might use subtle jabs, sarcastic comments, or non-verbal cues to express their dissatisfaction. This behavior can create a tense and uncomfortable atmosphere as you're left trying to decipher their true feelings and intentions. Passive-aggressive behavior can be particularly draining because it's often difficult to address directly. The energy vampire might deny any negative intentions if confronted, leaving you feeling confused and questioning your own perceptions. This can lead to a buildup of unresolved tension and resentment, which can be emotionally exhausting to navigate. The ninth sign is jealousy and competitiveness. Energy vampires often have a strong need to compare themselves to others and may struggle to genuinely celebrate others' successes. They might respond to your good news with backhanded compliments or by immediately sharing their own, possibly exaggerated, accomplishments. This constant comparison can create a competitive atmosphere, even in situations where cooperation would be more appropriate. Their jealousy might also manifest as attempts to undermine your confidence or achievements. They might point out potential flaws in your success or suggest that you were just lucky. This behavior can be draining because it forces you to constantly defend your accomplishments or downplay your successes to avoid triggering their jealousy. The 10th sign is a victim mentality. Energy vampires often see themselves as the victims in most situations. They tend to blame others for their problems and struggle to take responsibility for their own actions and decisions. This mentality can be exhausting for those around them, as it often involves lengthy explanations of how they've been wronged or mistreated. The victim mentality also makes it difficult for energy vampires to accept help or advice. They might reject suggestions for improving their situation, insisting that their problems are insurmountable or entirely caused by external factors. This can leave you feeling helpless and frustrated, especially if you've invested time and energy in trying to support them. The 11th sign is emotional instability. Energy vampires often experience and express rapid mood swings. They might be cheerful one moment and angry or despondent the next, with little apparent cause for the shift. This emotional volatility can create a tense and unpredictable atmosphere, leaving those around them feeling like they're walking on eggshells. Dealing with someone's unstable emotions requires a great deal of emotional energy. You might find yourself constantly trying to gauge their mood or adjust your behavior to avoid triggering a negative reaction. This hypervigilance can be extremely draining over time, leaving you feeling emotionally exhausted. The 12th and final sign is the energy drain itself. This is perhaps the most defining characteristic of an energy vampire. After spending time with them, you feel physically tired, emotionally drained, or mentally foggy. You might notice a decrease in your motivation or enthusiasm for activities you usually enjoy. This energy drain can persist even after the interaction has ended, affecting your mood and productivity for hours or even days afterward. It's important to note that this feeling goes beyond the normal tiredness that can come from social interaction, especially for introverts. The drain from an energy vampire feels more profound and lasting. You might find yourself dreading future interactions or needing extensive time to recover after spending time with them. Now that we've covered the 12 signs of an energy vampire, let's discuss how to protect yourself from their draining influence. The first and most crucial step is setting healthy boundaries. This involves clearly communicating your limits and expectations in relationships. It might mean limiting the time you spend with energy vampires or being firm about when and how you're available to them. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're not used to it or if you're dealing with someone who doesn't respect boundaries. Start small and be consistent. For example, you might decide not to answer phone calls after a certain time or limit the duration of your interactions. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your own well-being. Another important strategy is limiting your exposure to energy vampires. While it's not always possible to completely avoid these individuals, especially if they're family members or co-workers, you can take steps to reduce your interactions. This might involve declining some invitations, keeping conversations brief and focused, or ensuring that you have other people around when you do interact with them. It's also helpful to build up your own emotional reserves. Engage in self-care activities that replenish your energy. This could include exercise, meditation, spending time in nature, or pursuing hobbies you enjoy. The stronger and more centered you feel, the better equipped you'll be to handle interactions with energy vampires without being drained. Developing a support network is another valuable tool. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people who uplift and energize you. These relationships can provide a counterbalance to the draining effects of energy vampires and give you a source of support when dealing with challenging interactions. Learning to recognize and challenge negative thinking patterns can also be helpful. Energy vampires often have a way of pulling others into their negative worldview. By consciously identifying and questioning negative thoughts, you can maintain a more balanced and positive perspective. It's also important to practice assertiveness. This means expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and respectfully. When dealing with an energy vampire, you might need to firmly redirect conversations, set limits on their behavior, or express your discomfort with certain topics or actions. Remember, it's not your responsibility to fix or change an energy vampire. While you can offer support and encouragement, ultimately, they are responsible for their own behavior and well-being. It's okay to step back and prioritize your own emotional health. In some cases, particularly if the energy vampire is a close friend or family member, it might be helpful to have an open conversation with them about how their behavior affects you. They may not be aware of the impact they're having. Approach this conversation with compassion and focus on specific behaviors rather than making general accusations. If you find that interactions with an energy vampire are significantly impacting your mental health or well-being, it may be helpful to seek support from a mental health professional. They can provide strategies for managing difficult relationships and help you process any emotional fallout from these interactions. In conclusion, recognizing the signs of an energy vampire is the first step in protecting your emotional and mental well-being. By identifying these behaviors and implementing strategies to manage your interactions, you can maintain healthier relationships and preserve your own energy. Remember, it's not selfish to prioritize your own well-being. In fact, by taking care of yourself, you'll be better equipped to engage positively with others and contribute to your relationships and communities. Stay aware, set boundaries, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who consistently drain your energy. Everyone deserves relationships that are mutually supportive and uplifting. By recognizing energy vampires and taking steps to protect yourself, you're not just improving your own life. You're setting an example of healthy relationships for others to follow. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on your own relationships. Are there any that consistently leave you feeling drained? How might you apply some of the strategies we've discussed to create healthier boundaries and preserve your energy? Remember, change doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself as you learn to recognize and respond to energy vampires in your life. Each small step you take towards protecting your energy is a victory worth celebrating. Thank you for watching this video on the 12 signs of an energy vampire in your life. We hope you found it informative and empowering. If you have any questions or experiences you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on personal growth and healthy relationships. Until next time, take care of yourself and your energy.